Well, it's me, Meklo, today playing Time Thieves. If I look tired, it's because I am. I have this very cool thing called insomnia, where some nights I'm just gonna just sit in bed, wondering, man, what would happen if I could go back in time? If I could go back in time, I'd go back to high school, because in high school, a group of friends offered me to teach me how to play Magic the Gathering, and I said no. Speaking of going back in time, today's deck is Time Thieves. Time Thieves is a deck from the newest main box, and it's one of these decks that I was really looking forward to playing. And I got 3 of the super rares, so I can finally play Time Thieves. Took me a couple of days, but here we are. So how does this deck work? It's a rank 4 turbo deck. That's basically just what it does. It does have a dedicated skill in the form of Time Thief Crossbeat, which is one of these skills that's not there to like enhance the deck, but rather to like sort of balance it and restrain it, kind of like what they did with Shadows and Sky Strikers before they lost their minds on both of those skills. So maybe they're going to buff this skill and it's going to be absurd in a couple of months. But what this skill does is basically it puts a Redoer in extra deck, which is like one of the greatest rank 4 monsters of all time, and I believe that wholeheartedly. Or it allows you to reveal a Time Thief Psychic monster, so like the human-looking ones, to get a startup or a machine type, so like the not human-looking ones, from a deck to your hand. And if you activate this while your opponent controls no cards, you get to shuffle 1 card from your hand into the deck, and this is once per turn and twice per duel. So that's a pretty good skill. It would have been insane if it released in 2022, but as the way Duel Links is right now, it's just good. So yeah, that's basically what this deck does. Quick rundown of the core cards. Time Thief Winder on summon, searches, basically anything that you need. I think it's really important for you to get 3 off of this guy, because it also has a special clause of itself, which is really good in order to allow you to make multiple rank 4s on your first turn. The deck is playable with 2 because it is easily summonable through the Time Thief Regulator, which is a really strong card. Why are we playing only 2? Because it's a poor top deck and we can search it with a skill anyway, so it's like, it's not that bad if we don't open it, because we can just click yellow button and get it anyway. And then we got 1 Time Thief Bazaar ship. I've seen lists playing 2. I think 1 is fine. You can experiment with 2. That's the neat thing with the deck, is you can experiment with a lot of things. So this card, what does it do? On field, it can quick effect tribute itself in order to steal a card from opponent's graveyard and attach it to a Time Thief, not just any Xyz monster, a Time Thief Xyz monster that you control, which is really good graveyard disruption. This archetype has like really good tools for graveyard disruption, very specifically. It's kind of weird. And then it can also special itself back from grave, which I think is pretty cool. Time Thief Adjuster is the other human-looking Time Thief person from this archetype. And this one can special itself from hand when you summon a Time Thief monster, which pretty cool. And on summon, it foolishes a Time Thief card from your deck to your grave, which doesn't seem like it's good, but it is. And last but not least, for the Time Thief monsters, we have a Chronocorder, which I've seen people not play this card. I think it's kind of neat. It has an effect where if a Time Thief monster is banished, not banished, but like leaves the field by card effect, any card effect, including yours, including your Redoer banishing itself, its special itself from grave, which I think is really cool. It basically just means if you activate Redoer, you have a free mat to use for future plays, which I really like. Most spells, I'm only playing Time Thief Startup, which specials a Time Thief from hand, and then a graveyard effect where you get to attach 3 Time Thief cards of different types to one of the Time Thief Xyz monsters that you control. I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to use this grave effect, but it's really cool. It's really neat. It's a really neat card. You can switch it for pretty much any other cards. I like this one. Time Thief Flyback is one of the, well, pretty much the only card that you want to send with the Adjuster, because it has a graveyard effect that allows you to banish it in order to attach a card from your opponent's graveyard to a Time Thief Xyz monster you control. So again, that's graveyard disruption. You can set up on your first turn thanks to Adjuster. The effect on field is like, it's not really the greatest. And if you draw it, you can shuffle it with the skill, which I guess is another plus for this skill. And then your search target for the Winder is probably Time Thief Retrograde, which is just a spell trap negate that also attaches the spell or trap to a Time Thief Xyz monster that you control. So that's it for the core of the deck. As far as the extra deck goes, we have a Perpetua, which can special summon a Time Thief from your grave during the standby phase, which can be the monster that you detached in order to activate this effect, but you have to have another Time Thief monster in grave for this effect to activate. And then as a quick effect, you can equip any Time Thief card from your deck to any other Xyz monster, which is insane, I think. I think this is a really cool effect. Last but not least, Redoer himself is a pretty insane card. He can attach if you've played Master Duel, you've seen this guy, right? It steals a card from your opponent's deck during the standby phase, and then anytime you can detach up to 3 types of material, apply all of these effects that apply at once. You can banish this card until the end phase, which is really cool for dodging drag removal. You can draw a card if you detach a spell, and if you detach a trap, you can spin, I guess that's the word, spin a face-up card that your opponent controls. So that's pretty fucking good. That's a really cool effect. And the rest of the deck is just good cards. I'm playing 2 effect Veilers because I like having options going first. 3 Lancers because this deck hates back row. Book of Eclipse is an insane card going first or second. And I should probably get a 3rd copy of it. I'm probably gonna have to reset the box. God damn it. And then just, you know, good rank 4 stuff. Dweller is still not a win against some matchups. Castel gets rid of difficult to remove monsters. Evilsonic Silent Knight gets rid of even more difficult to remove cards. Evilsonic Nightmare is a pretty cool fella. Vespernato allows you to turn a rank 4 with nomads into a threat. And then you go combo Raiders Knight and Arc Rebellion. It's just to kill people with. I'm not really good at playing it yet. I want to shout out Regen, which has been posting a bunch of, one replay and the deck list that he topped the latest Quantum dailies with, which have been incredibly useful in order to because it's one of these decks that just makes you go, wait, I feel like I could be doing something more than just rank 4 pass. And then you see people that do rank 4 pass. It's like, oh, okay, I don't have to feel bad. I forgot to talk about the last, where is it? Last Time Thief card that I'm not playing, which is Time Thief Hack. I don't think Regen, I'm gonna look it up because I forgot. I don't think Regen is playing it either, or maybe he is and I'm an idiot and I forgot. Which is equally as likely, so I'm just gonna look it up. No, he does play it. But I'm not playing it, even though that's a card that can potentially end the game. I don't know. I feel like it's one of these win more cards, you know, and I'm not good enough to be playing them yet. I'm just gonna play win cards when are good cards, and then I'll see about playing cards that allow me to win even more. So I don't think it's necessary to play this one. Wow, that's a lot of talking. Can you tell that I'm sleep deprived? Let's take a look at a replay. This is a replay. I never showed this part. I just wanted to show this guy was in Legend 5. So I feel bad for what I did to them. Because this was they're on Phantom Knight, and I think this is one of the easiest matchup for this deck going first ever. 3 win streaks, by the way, and I ruined that. I don't know if you remember all the times that I complained about having a cog win streak stolen from me. This is basically what's happening. So this opening hand, it's pretty good. We did open the flyback, but because we also opened startup, I could just activate the skill, get the regulator, put the flyback back in the deck, normal summon the regulator here, activate the regulator to get the winder, and since I already have the adjuster, I am going to get the Bezel ship instead. Then the winder is going to allow me to get the retrograde. I'm an idiot, so I forgot to summon the adjuster with its own effect. So instead I had to activate Time Thief Startup in order to summon the adjuster. Which, is this the same person? They look like it's the same person but at a different age, which I guess this is how time travel works, right? I don't know. This archetype has a lot of cute little lore that's maybe interesting. Anyway, adjuster is going to send the flyback from deck to grave, and then I'm going to go with the bezel and the winder into an Abyss Dweller. I am going to detach the bezel just to put it in grave so I can use its effect, detach the winder, summon the bezel back, and then put the bezel and the adjuster into Perpetua, which is the same girl. Wow, cute. That means that canonically, the girl from Adjuster turned into Perpetua, and the guy from Winder turned into Abyss Dweller, which I think is really neat. I'm going to activate the Perpetua effect in order to equip, attach Chronocorder as Xyz material to the Abyss Dweller, set the Retrograde, which is a spell trap negate, Instead, the Book of Eclipse, which is just an anti-swarm tool. So the sandboard like Perpetua, that's going to be able to detach and revive the Bezel ship, plus the Dweller, which is always good to have against Phantom Knights, a Spell Trap Negate, and Book of Eclipse. So that's, I feel like that's pretty good. Maybe that's not optimal. Let me know if you think of something more. Anyway, in standby phase, I'm going to activate the Dweller, and then I'm going to detach and revive the Bezel ship. They're going to Dark Hole. I'm going to retrograde in response. I feel like it's probably not going to have a better opportunity, and this fucks up my entire game plan. They're going to summon 2 monsters. I'm going to preemptively Book of Eclipse. I did not activate the Perpetua effect yet to attach, because I'm an idiot, and I'm sleep deprived, and I didn't realize that Book of Eclipse flips my monsters face down too. I thought it was like a one-sided Book of Moon, you know? Global Book of Moon. I thought it was like Ultimate Tyranno, but it's not. So that's fun. Book of Eclipse is going to flip their monsters. Again, I didn't realize this. I didn't realize it would flip only their monsters. I have to flip my monsters manually? Come on! So yeah. Kind of a misplay here. I drew another Book of Eclipse because I'm never punished. Perpetua is going to attach a startup as material to the Dweller. And my opponent's going to activate Phantom Knight Sword to protect that guy. And then I'm going to get rid of their entire field. Which is pretty cool. In my end phase, I'm not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything. In draw, I'm going to Dweller. They're going to Phantom Knight Sword in response. But I'm going to activate the effect of Flyback and Grave in order to steal the Racket Glove that they wanted to revive. And then I'm going to use Perpetua to attach the adjuster, Jesus Christ, to attach the adjuster to the Dweller, and then I am going to use the other effects of Perpetua to revive the Winder to get another startup that I can maybe trade for another card later, who knows. And they're going to Phantom Knight Cloak, set 1, then I'm going to activate the Scale, which is going to send some Phantom Knight monster they can choose, and I'm going to try and make it with Raiders and Breakable Mind. It doesn't really work. At this stage, I'm just going to put 2 and 2 together into Time Thief, Redo, then going to activate the Floodgate Trapple, which isn't an issue because I have Forbidden Lands, but I also have the Redo effect. I'm just going to banish it, which, because an Xyz monster left the field by card effect, allows me to summon the Chrono Quarter back, and I can Bezel Ship, detaching an effect from the Perpetua in order to special it, and I can make a second Perpetua, which is basically curtains down for this player, because then the Redoer comes back and the Perpetua can just attach stuff, and I have an infinite Beast Dweller that I can use infinitely, which I feel is really good. By the way, if you could go back in time, where would you go? I would go back to middle school, because in middle school, that's when I first learned about Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually, and that's when I first picked up a couple of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, and someone gave me a bunch of Dragon cards, and then I got gifted by my parents the Ancient Gear structure deck that had like the gadgets and the Chingeki Dragon, and those were good times. But also in retrospect, maybe I should have made more efforts to do better in school, because like, I was thinking about Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't really work on my grades in school, so I should have done that instead of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I feel. So that's the deck, and that's an above average showcase of what it can do. Again, it's one of these decks that makes me feel like, there's so much more that you could be doing if you were better at the game, you idiot. But then again, maybe not. I don't know. I'll keep trying to get better with this list. I've seen some people play Trap Tricks Rafflesia with a couple of like trap cards, and it's not like a bad idea, but I feel like this is more centered towards going first with a deck that, like, I mean, this deck does have gas, right? It's not like, because Sharks does have a lot of like gas and recursion and stuff, but like, it's not like this deck doesn't have gas. It's also that this deck doesn't just have a click yellow button, summon a rank 4 potential game ender. You know, I feel that's also like one of the thing that's happening here. I don't know, I'm sleep deprived. By the way, if you could go back in time, where would you go? I would go to grade school, because that was easy as shit. Grade school was the easiest. I didn't have any worries. I didn't have rent to pay. I did go to the hospital a couple of times, but that's what happens when you take a couple swings to the face, you know? And I don't mean swings like I'm getting punched, like I mean a literal swing. I was pushing an empty swing and came back in my face, and this is why I have this, I don't know if it's very visible, but this, I guess you could call it a scar. It's not very impressive. It's just, oh, when I meet people and they ask me, oh, what happened to your face? I'm like, I was a little dumbass kid and I pushed an empty metal swing and it came back in my face and I went to the fucking hospital. Oh, I'm tired. Anyway, is this deck good? I think it is. But it's hard to tell because it's like I think this format is going to be dominated by one very specific deck that I think we're all thinking of, and it's kind of difficult in near tier 0 metas for like all the decks to be really viable. Like what's this game? I guess Evil Soul Nightmare is a decent option if you're playing against Liberalisk. Like right, you make this on turn 1. But then the deck is so consistent that it already open like Book of Eclipse or Forbidden Droplets, or even Forbidden Chalice, or just 8 outs, because you don't have that many outs to like the more consistent and explosive decks out there. It's just a deck that's about the grind game. I don't know, I really like this deck, but I don't think it's like one of the greatest decks out there. I think it's like rogue playable for the time being. Which is cool because I don't know if you knew this, but the Time Thieves are based on Time Lords, not the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, the guys from Doctor Who. I never watched Doctor Who. If I could go back in time, I'd probably start watching Doctor Who at some point. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. Thanks in particular to Disgust, Eldish Boy Zero, Zinnia, Jimmy, and K. This took extra mental effort because I'm really tired. I'm probably just gonna go to sleep. Comments, if you will. What would you do if you could go back in time? It doesn't have to be in your lifetime, right? You don't have to be like, oh, I'm gonna buy a baby. No, you can be like, I'm gonna go see dinosaurs. I guess I could go see dinosaurs. Would you go see dinosaurs with me? I really want to see dinosaurs. Thank you once again for watching this video. Take care, everyone, and I will see you all next time.